There's a scientific reason you feel motivated every Monday and lose it by Wednesday. And once you understand it, you will stop falling for the same trap every single week. Here's what happens. Sunday night rolls around and you get that feeling. You know the one. You start to plan, you start visualizing, you think this week is going to be different. And I'm going to wake up early, I'm going to stay focused, and I'm going to be finally consistent once and for all. And Monday morning, you actually do it. You feel energized, you feel clear, you feel like this time it is real. I'm going to do this. But then Tuesday gets a little harder, Wednesday you start slipping, and by Thursday, you're back scrolling in bed, skipping the routine, reacting to your day instead of leading it. And by Friday, you have completely mentally checked out. Then Sunday comes back around and the whole cycle starts again. Next week, new plan, same result. Sound familiar? I did it for decades. See, most people think that this happens because of lack of discipline. That's not it. They think they need more willpower or a better morning routine or a new planner or consuming more info, but the actual problem is much deeper than that. And there's a real science behind why this is happening. Okay? In 2014, a researcher at the Wharton School of Business named Catherine Milkman published a study on something she called the fresh start effect. What she found was that people are significantly more likely to pursue goals immediately after what she called temporal landmarks. That means at the start of the new week, the new month, a new year, a birthday, a holiday, any moment that feels like a clean break from the past. And here's why that matters. Milkman found that these landmarks create a psychological separation between your current self and your past self. So Monday morning feels like a reset because your brain treats it as a new mental accounting period. It files last week's failures into a closed folder and tells you that was the old you. This is a fresh start. And that separation gives you a temporary burst of motivation. I did it for years. But here is the problem. It is temporary by design. The fresh start effect gives you the feeling of change without requiring actual change. Your identity stays the same. Your inputs stay the same. Your environment stays the same. The only thing that changed is the date on your calendar. So your brain gave you a little hit of motivation that it cannot sustain because nothing underneath actually shifted. This is exactly what disruption is built to solve. Instead of relying on calendar resets and temporary motivation, disruption teaches you how to identify and change the actual inputs that are programming your behavior every single day. Your content diet, your environment, your self-talk, your daily patterns that you're repeating over and over and over. When those inputs change, you stop needing Monday to feel motivated because your system is running differently at the actual foundation. Drop a word inputs in the comments if this makes any sense to you. And click the link in my bio to check out my free community and learn how disruption actually can work for you. Now let me explain what is actually happening in your brain during the week that causes you to fall off. There's a psychologist named Roy Baumeister who introduced a concept called ego depletion. And the idea is straightforward. Your capacity for self-control operates like a battery. Every decision you make, every impulse you resist, every time you force yourself to do something your brain does not want to do, you are draining that battery. And here's the part that connects everything. When you rely on willpower and motivation to drive your behavior, you are burning through that battery every single day. By midweek, the battery is low. Your brain starts looking for shortcuts, for comfort, the path of least resistance. That is when you skip the routine. That is when you grab your phone first thing in the morning. That is when you tell yourself you'll get back on track next week. But people who stay consistent through the entire week are not doing it because they have a bigger battery. They're doing it because they are not relying on the battery at all. They have changed their inputs. They have changed what they consume, who they spend time with, how they start their mornings. Those inputs run on autopilot. They do not require willpower because they are built into the system. The behavior is automatic, which means the battery barely gets touched. So here's the question. What inputs are you allowing into your system between Monday and Friday? that drain your battery and reset your progress. Because if you're honest with yourself, absolutely honest with yourself, most of the inputs that kill your momentum are things that you're barely aware of. 30 minutes of scrolling before bed that wrecks your sleep quality entirely. A group chat full of people who complain more than they build or create. Content that entertains you but never challenges you. And a morning that starts reactive instead of intentional. None of those things feel destructive in the moment. That is why they're so dangerous. They feel normal. They feel like what everyone else does, but they're quietly resetting your internal state back to default. And when your internal state resets, your behavior follows. That is the real reason Wednesday feels so different from Monday. Monday, you're running on a fresh start. By Wednesday, your inputs dragged you back to the baseline. If you're tired of this Monday reset cycle and you want to actually understand how to change these inputs that are running your week after week, join my free community. It's called Elite Aligned. The link is in the description. I go deep on this stuff every single week, breaking down exactly how inputs shape the outputs and how to build a system that does not depend on willpower to function. Join Elite Aligned, link is in the description. Now here's the truth. Monday motivation is a trap because it gives you the illusion of progress without requiring you to change anything that actually matters. The calendar resets, your brain gives you a clean slate, but your inputs are still the same. Your environment is still the same, and your identity is still the same. So the results stay the same. Stop starting over. Start changing what is actually running the system. I'll see you in the next one.